Hey, people in the 14-day challenge. Today is day 4, and we are talking about one of my absolute favorite, always in the bag, always on vacation, always everywhere I go, oil, frankincense. Frankincense is a dual-use oil. I don't have the Vitality line with me or in my home. I don't have the Vitality frankincense with me. Otherwise, I'd show both of you these in this video. But the things I'm going to talk about today are for both lines of frankincense. Remember, same oil, different labeling. So again, dual-use oil, used for everything. It's just like Carrie said, when in doubt, pull Frank out, right? And there's some good tips in that video as well of what to do with this oil. So just a little history. This oil, frankincense, has been talked about since the beginning of written word. It's been used forever. Mankind has known about this beautiful gift of God forever in frankincense oil and how it's used. It's a resin, it's a tree resin tapped from the frankincense trees. Oh, the cool one, that's a cool thing with resins. You can tap the tree, and Young Living does it at the perfect time to get the most resin out of the trees. And the frankincense will come out of the resin will come out of the tree. And then it heals the tree. It seals that tree back up and creates more resin, so you don't ruin the trees when you do that. But that's one of the reasons frankincense is so good for skin restoration, which is one of the things I'll talk about in a little bit. It's good at fixing up the scar. So it does it in the tree, can do that in you as well. So this is originally known as the oil from Lebanon. Another way to describe it, or one of the meanings of the term frankincense, is real incense. And this is an oil that has been used in incense uses. Burned, the resins have been burned, or the scents have been used in churches for years. It's well known for how good it is for you with spiritual meditation and prayer, and used forever, right? It used to be considered more valuable than gold. It's still a very valuable oil. A lot of us, it's tough to replace your frankincense, but it's worth it. You just don't want to go without this oil. November has always been the free frankincense month with Young Living, so it's one way that you can earn your frankincense for free every November. So just kind of keep that on your calendar. But with certain orders, they gift us a full bottle of frankincense. I look forward to that. Anyway, other things it can do. Frankincense, I'm going to read a little bit from my reference book here. The reason it works so well diffused, or just, opened up and sniffed, some of the characteristics of it. It increases spiritual awareness, promotes meditation, improves attitude, and uplifts spirits. It's very, very good at this. My husband will even let me apply this to his head because it really can help him. This is something I use to right in the center of my head, like I do with peppermint, to just open up my mind a little bit. Peppermint is stimulating, but frankincense is more, it just helps balance me so much better. It helps me release some of the things that I've got stuck in my head. It can help you with that during the day. If you need an emotional release, it can help you with that at night as you're sleeping. You can diffuse it and do the same thing at night while you're sleeping, or apply it to your feet at some of the VitaFlex points. It's incredibly powerful. I can't tell you how powerful this is. I didn't really believe it till I tried it. So just such a great use for frankincense. So other oils for frankincense, as I said, or other uses for it. As I said, it's a great skin restoring oil. And there's a little recipe in the graphic today for a homemade skin serum. Mine is just a little different. I make my own moisturizer now, and this is about 4 ounces of grapeseed oil. Grapeseed carrier oil, because that's so really excellent for your skin. You could also, in this recipe, use Young Living's V6, which is 6 different kinds of carrier oils. This, by the way, is just glorious. just glorious. Even less greasy feeling than, say, just grapeseed. But I use good old grapeseed on mine, and I don't use a moisturizer anymore. But to this is about 4 ounces, like I said. I'll add about maybe 7 to 10 drops of frankincense, and maybe about 15 of lavender to my skin serum. And I use that every day. And sometimes in different spots, if I have something that's troubling me, I'll just apply frankincense directly. I did that just to see how it worked, and after about a month of doing that, my own husband noticed that my skin looked good. And he doesn't say those kinds of things ever, but he's like, "Oh, your skin looks really good lately." And I told a friend about it who's my age, and I hadn't seen her for a month, and a month later I saw her, and I couldn't believe the difference in her skin. So excellent for that, but skin of all ages. If you have a younger person in the house that maybe is dealing with troublesome skin, frankincense can really help with that. So women of all ages can definitely benefit from this. It can be a hot oil though, so when you do apply it directly to your skin, you really should have a carrier oil with it. Especially younger people, they just kind of want to burn everything off their skin, but that's really not that good for the sebum. You don't want to damage that. So and if you tell them to put it with a little grapeseed oil, they're going to freak out. But grapeseed oil is non-comedogenic and it won't clog the pores. And tell them to trust you; it'll work. So, okay, other references with frankincense. If you Google the term snake oil, which I'm sure people have thrown that term at you since you've gotten oily, Google the term snake oil and you will see a couple of oils come up. Frankincense is one and tea tree is another. That's because that's what they were originally known for, because they were so good with wound care. The charlatans sort of started putting the fake stuff in it, and that's why it got the bad rap that it did. But been, again, used forever for that. As I said, excellent for emotional uses, just amazing. It's also great for your respiratory system, and it is, it's just one of those oils that you pull it out. Your nervous system, your central nervous system, it can be helpful with that. Do some research on it. Frankincense works at the cellular level, so do a lot of essential oils. So helps keep your cells where they need to be and helps to keep them, if they need regenerating, perhaps some regeneration, but keeps the cells healthy. So a lot of women have started using this on their breasts to keep them as healthy as they can be, perhaps mixed with a carrier oil. Some women will actually put it in their homemade deodorants because our breasts do start in the armpits, so to speak. So also an area that you want to be careful with, and you don't want all those chemicals anyway on our skin. If you need a recipe for homemade deodorant, I'm sure it'll come up in some of those penny pincher recipes Carrie's putting up, or just ask us for it. So another great use for frankincense. I do want to talk about one other thing before this video is over. I've been using, in a couple of videos, you might have seen this bracelet. I'm doing a little plug for Young Living Foundation. There's a website called younglivingfoundation.org, and that is all the excellent causes that Young Living funds and supports. And one of my favorite ones is Hope for Justice. Hope for Justice is about trafficking, female human trafficking, and how they are working to stop it and to get women out of prostitution. It's kind of really near and dear to my heart. And when I was at convention, I went to the Young Living tent, and they did all kinds of things on I think it's 9 active causes that they do now. They're shown on younglivingfoundation.org. And this was one I was just really drawn to. And I asked them what this stuff was, this jewelry, right? Well, it's this pen len. That's how it's spelled. And if you go to younglivingfoundation.org and then search for Hope for Justice and click on it, you'll get to the link about the pen len jewelry. The women there, this is how they support themselves and how they can have jobs and be independent is through things like pen len, where they can make the jewelry. So I love wearing this. I think about it every time I wear it. I plan to get more. There's some neat looking stuff, but they make these beads and they string them. So I invite you to take a look at that if you can. Thank you guys, and have a really good day.